The darkness shows you who you are. When everything you depended on is stripped away, and in that silence, you find your center again. You find the part of you that cannot be taken, cannot be broken, cannot be shaken. The Stoics called it the inner citadel, the fortress within the soul that remains untouched. Even when the world collapses around you, you have felt that citadel in moments of grief, in moments of confusion, in moments where you didn't know how to go on, but did. There is a fire in you that refuses to go out. Even when life dims it, even when circumstances suffocate it, even when pain threatens to smother it, it still burns. Quietly, steadily, persistently. Feel that fire now, not as rage, not as desperation, but as resolve, as purpose, as the quiet conviction that whispers, "I will rise." You've whispered that to yourself, without even knowing it, in the moments you got back up, in the moments you tried one more time, in the moments you chose not to give in. Your actions spoke it. Even when your voice couldn't, you survived what you thought you wouldn't. You grew from what you thought would destroy you. You are still becoming, because you refused to stay broken. And now, you stand at the threshold of a new kind of strength. Not the strength of force, or control, or pride, but the strength of understanding, the strength of presence, the strength of acceptance, the strength of inner stability. Life will still test you, but the test will no longer unseat you. You will bend, but you will not break. You will feel fear, but you will not retreat. You will face uncertainty, but you will not collapse, because you are learning mastery, not mastery of the world. That was never possible, but mastery of self. Seneca wrote, "He who is brave is free." And bravery is not the absence of fear, but the decision to move through it. You have made that decision again and again. Every time you stood back up, every time you tried again, every time you walked forward, despite trembling hands or a trembling heart. That is bravery. Quiet, honest, real. You don't need to prove it to anyone. You don't need to show it. You don't need recognition. The path you walk now is inward, measured not by what the world sees, but by what you feel, by what you confront, by what you release, by what you choose. And now, you choose truth. You choose clarity. You choose resilience. You choose peace. Not because life is easy, not because suffering has ended, not because you no longer feel pain, but because you've learned that mastering yourself is the only way to truly live. This is your awakening. This is your return. This is your rise. And it is only just beginning. The darkness shows you who you are. When everything you depended on is stripped away, and in that silence, you find your center again. You find the part of you that cannot be taken, cannot be broken, cannot be shaken. The Stoics called it the inner citadel, the fortress within the soul that remains untouched. Even when the world collapses around you, you have felt that citadel in moments of grief, in moments of confusion, in moments where you didn't know how to go on, but did. There is a fire in you that refuses to go out. Even when life dims it, even when circumstances suffocate it, even when pain threatens to smother it, it still burns. Quietly, steadily, persistently. Feel that fire now, not as rage, not as desperation, but as resolve, as purpose, as the quiet conviction that whispers, "I will rise." You've whispered that to yourself, without even knowing it, in the moments you got back up, in the moments you tried one more time, in the moments you chose not to give in. Your actions spoke it. Even when your voice couldn't, you survived what you thought you wouldn't. You grew from what you thought would destroy you. You are still becoming, because you refused to stay broken. And now, you stand at the threshold of a new kind of strength. Not the strength of force, or control, or pride, but the strength of understanding, the strength of presence, the strength of acceptance, the strength of inner stability. Life will still test you, but the test will no longer unseat you. You will bend, but you will not break. You will feel fear, but you will not retreat. You will face uncertainty, but you will not collapse, because you are learning mastery, not mastery of the world. That was never possible, but mastery of self. Seneca wrote, "He who is brave is free." And bravery is not the absence of fear, but the decision to move through it. You have made that decision again and again. Every time you stood back up, every time you tried again, every time you walked forward, despite trembling hands or a trembling heart. That is bravery. Quiet, honest, real. You don't need to prove it to anyone. You don't need to show it. You don't need recognition. The path you walk now is inward, measured not by what the world sees, but by what you feel, by what you confront, by what you release, by what you choose. And now, you choose truth. You choose clarity. You choose resilience. You choose peace. Not because life is easy, not because suffering has ended, not because you no longer feel pain, but because you've learned that mastering yourself is the only way to truly live. This is your awakening. This is your return. This is your rise. And it is only just beginning. And now, you begin to understand something you were never taught, something you had to discover. Through pain, through silence, through the slow shaping of experience. You are not meant to move through life untouched. You are meant to feel it, all of it. The weight, the beauty, the uncertainty, the loss, the love, the fear, the hope. Every emotion you carry is part of the human condition. The same condition Marcus endured. Seneca wrote about, Epictetus taught. They were not strangers to suffering. They were students of it. And so are you. The world will break at your feet sometimes. Life will feel heavy in your hands. People will disappoint you. Moments will collapse without warning. You will lose things you thought you could never live without. But in that breaking, in that quiet devastation, you meet yourself. Not the version shaped by others, not the one molded by expectations, but the raw, honest, unfiltered you. The you that perseveres, the you that sits with grief without running, the you that stands in the middle of fear and chooses courage anyway. You discover your strength, not when life is gentle, but when life is ruthless. You discover your clarity, not in comfort, but in the aftermath of chaos. You discover your peace, not in the absence of storms, but in your ability to stay grounded while the wind howls around you. This is what you are learning. This is what you are becoming. And becoming is not a single moment. It is a lifelong unfolding. You grow in layers. You heal in waves. You evolve in seasons. Some seasons tear you down. Some rebuild you quietly. Some stretch you beyond what you thought you could endure. Some remind you of your own depth. But all of them shape you. You no longer run from these seasons. You no longer fear the dark ones. You've learned that darkness is not an enemy. It is a teacher. It forces you inward. It removes distractions. It sharpens your vision. It calls you to confront the truths you once avoided. Marcus wrote, "Look well into yourself. There is a source of strength which will always spring up if you will always look." And he was right. Strength is not added to you. It is uncovered within you, unburied, freed, released. You've carried strength in your chest for years without realizing it. You mistook it for survival. You mistook it for numbness. You mistook it for exhaustion. But strength rarely announces itself until you need it. And you needed it more times than you can count. That strength is still here, still waiting, still yours. And now you are learning to use it deliberately. Not to fight others, not to prove anything, not to run from pain, but to guide yourself calmly, patiently, with quiet conviction. You don't need to rush your healing. You don't need to force clarity. You don't need to pretend you've figured everything out. All you need is to take one honest breath at a time, one grounded step at a time, one clear choice at a time. That is how transformation happens. Not with perfection, but with presence. Not with intensity, but with intention. Not with noise, but with silence. You've spent years trying to fix everything, trying to control everything, trying to predict every outcome, trying to hold on when you should have let go. But now, you are learning the hardest truth of all. Not everything needs your force. Not everything needs your worry. Not everything needs your fear. Some things need your patience. Some things need your distance. Some things need your acceptance. Some things need to fall apart, so better things can grow in their place. You are learning to trust this, slowly, cautiously, but sincerely. Trust is not easy for a heart that has been broken, but broken hearts are not weak. They are wise. They know what matters. They know what feels real. They know what deserves to stay. Let that wisdom guide you. You are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are not your fears. You are not your scars. You are the one who endured. You are the one who stayed alive. You are the one who kept walking. You are the one who refused to give up, even when hope felt thin. And now, you are the one who chooses to rise. Rise quietly. Rise slowly. Rise with humility. Rise with focus. Rise with intention. You don't need the world to see your rise. You don't need applause. You don't need validation. Because the rise that matters is the one you feel within. The rise that changes your thoughts, your choices, your energy, your direction. A rise that no one sees, but everyone eventually feels. There is a deeper you emerging, a clearer you, a calmer you, a wiser you, a version of yourself you once doubted you could become, but are now quietly growing into. Stay with this feeling, this shift, this awakening, because you are only at the beginning of who you are meant to be. Listen closely, not to me, but to yourself. There is a quiet truth rising within you, a truth you've silenced for years because you feared what it would demand. But truth does not disappear when ignored. It waits, patiently, relentlessly. And now, your truth is knocking gently on the door of your awareness. You feel it in the spaces between your breaths. A pull, a call, a direction forming without words. It's telling you something simple, something powerful. You cannot stay where you are, not in your thoughts, not in your habits, not in the stories you outgrew. The life you want requires the person you're becoming, not the person you used to be. So let the old fall away. Let the old beliefs dissolve. Let the old identity crumble. Let the old fears loosen their grip on the edge of your heart. This is not destruction. This is emergence. You've lived through seasons that were meant to change you. You've walked through fire that was meant to refine you. You've endured storms that were meant to awaken you. All of it happened for one reason: to lead you here, to this moment of quiet becoming. Growth is not loud. Transformation is not dramatic. Evolution is not a scene in a movie. It is subtle, slow, internal, invisible to the world, but undeniable to the soul. It happens in the stillness, when you choose patience over anger. It happens in the silence, when you choose clarity over chaos. It happens in the dark, when you choose resilience over despair. You change in the moments no one sees. That is why your journey is sacred. It is yours, only yours. You don't need permission to evolve. You don't need applause to grow. You don't need validation to walk your path. The Stoics understood this. They lived without seeking approval. They acted without craving recognition. They endured without expecting praise. They knew the world could never give them what they could only find within. The calm fire in your spirit, the deep wisdom in your silence. You are not here to live small. You are here to embody the life that keeps calling your name, and it is calling still. Your next chapter will not be written by pain, but by awareness. Not by fear, but by intention. Not by old wounds, but by new strength. But remember this: peace is not something you stumble into. It is something you create, daily, silently, sacredly. It is built in the choices no one sees, the habits no one praises, the boundaries no one understands, the decisions that feel small, but shape everything. You've lived long enough in reaction. Now you move with purpose. You've lived long enough bending under pressure. Now you stand in your truth. You've lived long enough giving your power away. Now you reclaim it, because life will not slow down for you. It will not pause. It will not wait. You must meet it with a still mind and a steady heart. Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." Meaning, let go of the world's opinions. Let go of the image you've carried. Let go of the weight of expectations. Your life is not a performance. It is a pilgrimage, a journey inward, a return to your essence. And sometimes, the world will not understand your growth, your silence, your boundaries, your peace, your distance, your detachment. But you are not here to be understood. You are here to be aligned. Aligned with your purpose, aligned with your truth, aligned with the life that calls to you, quietly, but persistently. Feel it now, that subtle pull, that whisper in your chest, that soft, unwavering guidance that you've ignored for too long. It's been waiting for you, patiently, without judgment. And now, you're finally listening. You are learning to trust yourself again, to believe in the quiet wisdom inside you, to hear the voice beneath the noise, the voice that speaks not in fear, but in clarity. You've lived with doubt long enough. You've lived with uncertainty long enough. You've lived with numbness long enough. It's time. Time to step back into your life. Time to breathe without hesitation. Time to walk without fear. Time to rise with intention. Nothing in this world is promised. Not time, not people, not peace, not certainty. But one thing remains. You, your choices, your discipline, your courage, your mind, your will. Life will test those things. repeatedly, ruthlessly, unexpectedly. But the tests are not punishments. They are invitations, opportunities to refine yourself, to shed your old skin, to meet your true potential inch by inch. You are not powerless. You never were. You only forgot for a while. And forgetting is human. But remembering, that is transformation. Remember who you are. Remember what you've survived. Remember the nights you thought would break you, but didn't. Remember the moments you thought were endings, but became turning points. You don't need to become someone new. You need to return to someone true. The version of you before the fear, before the noise, before the world told you what you should be. Return to the quiet strength in your bones. Becoming takes time. It takes patience. It takes walking through the shadows you once avoided and realizing they were never there to consume you, only to show you what light looks like by contrast. You've spent years running from parts of yourself that were never your enemy. Your fear, your doubt, your insecurities, your pain. They weren't punishments. They were signals, messages, lessons wrapped in discomfort. Every crack in your heart was a doorway. Every ache in your chest was a guide. Every moment you felt lost was preparing you to find something deeper. You thought the world was breaking you, but it was shaping you. Softly, sharply, precisely. You became stronger than you intended, and gentler than you expected. You learned that strength is not the absence of emotion, but the ability to feel deeply without letting the wave drown you. And so now, you stand on the edge of a new chapter, a chapter written not by circumstance, but by intention. Your intention? Look at how far you've come. Not the miles, not the years, but the inner distance. The distance between who you once were and who you are now becoming. You've stepped through grief. You've rebuilt after betrayal. You've carried yourself through silence. When no one else knew what you were fighting, you wanted someone to save you, but it was you. It was always you. You held yourself together on the days you felt like falling apart. You whispered hope into your own chest. When your voice trembled, you kept walking. Even when your legs were heavy with doubt, there is a sacred power in that kind of resilience. Not loud, not dramatic, quiet, steady, enduring. The Stoics knew this. They knew the greatest victories are the ones no one sees. The wars fought in the mind, the demons confronted in silence, the discipline practiced when no one is around to applaud. Marcus Aurelius asked himself each morning, "When you arise, think of what a privilege it is to be alive." But he wrote those words on nights when he felt the weight of the world on his shoulders. Even the wise suffer. Even the strong break. Even the calm lose their balance. You are no different. And that is not a flaw. It is a reminder that your humanity is not a burden. It is your compass. Feel the truth of that.
You don't have to hide anymore.
Not from yourself. Not from your past. Not from the parts of you once feared to look at. Everything you avoided was only waiting to be understood. Everything you buried was only waiting to be felt. Everything you resisted was only waiting to become your strength. And now, you're ready. Ready to step into the life meant for you. Ready to stand tall without shrinking. Ready to embrace the journey without fear. Ready to meet yourself. With honesty, with compassion, with clarity. You are not here to survive your story. You are here to transform it. You are here to understand what the Stoics understood, that life is not happening to you. Life is happening for you, for your evolution, for your awakening, for your mastery. And mastery is not perfection. Mastery is presence. Mastery is patience. Mastery is knowing that setbacks are not failures, but invitations. Invitations to begin again, to grow again, to rise again. You have risen before. You will rise now. You will rise again. Because every ending you've met has carried you to a new beginning. Every loss has carved space for something truer. Every heartbreak has opened you. Every disappointment has redirected you. Every silence has taught you to listen to yourself. You are not who you were, and that is your power. You are not supposed to stay the same. You are meant to evolve, to change shape, to shed the versions of yourself that no longer fit the life you are growing into. Let the old fall away. Let the unnecessary drift out of your hands. Let the past become a lesson, not a prison. Forgive yourself for the times you didn't know better. Forgive yourself for the moments you stayed too long. Forgive yourself for the days you were tired and the nights you were afraid. You were learning. You were growing. You were surviving. And now you are awakening. Feel that. Let it move through you. A quiet strength rising. A slow fire returning. A calm presence forming around your heart. You are enough. You have always been enough. But now, you are becoming aware of it. And awareness is transformation. Awareness is power. Awareness is the beginning of a new life. Stay here, in this moment, in this breath, in this truth. You are not alone. You are not lost. You are not broken. You are becoming. And becoming is beautiful. You are learning that your peace is worth protecting, that not every noise deserves your attention, that not every wound needs to stay open, that not every person is meant to walk beside you. You are learning that solitude is not emptiness. It is clarity. It is the space where you finally hear your own voice. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." And maybe that is why you're here now, to reclaim what was always yours. Your mind, your heart, your direction, your life. You've spent years carrying burdens that were never yours to keep. Years bending to expectations that were never yours to fulfill. Years apologizing for being human, for being tired, for being overwhelmed, for needing space that you never allowed yourself to take. But look at you now, listening, present, still alive. There is courage in that, more than you realize, more than you admit. Your story is not weakness, it is proof. Proof that you faced the fire and walked out glowing. Proof that you were broken, but rebuilt quietly. Proof that the world tried to shake you, and you learned to steady your own hands. You don't have to rush anymore. Not this time, not tonight. This moment is not a race. It is a returning. Return to yourself, to your breath, to your truth, to the soft, unspoken strength that lives beneath your ribs. Life will test you, again and again. Not because you are unworthy, but because you are capable. Because somewhere inside you is a depth you haven't yet reached, a strength you haven't yet touched, a peace you haven't yet lived, a fire you haven't yet awakened, and the world will keep pressing you until you find it. You are not meant to stay wounded. You are meant to grow from what broke you, to shape yourself again, to rise in silence and walk forward with calm eyes. The pain that once controlled you will become the path that frees you. The doubts that once suffocated you will become the questions that guide you. The darkness that once terrified you will become the place you learn to see clearly. The night is quiet, but inside you, a storm moves. You don't show it, you rarely do. You've learned to walk with your wounds hidden beneath your breath. You've learned to carry your doubts in silence. You've learned to keep moving, even when a part of you wanted to stop. You stand here now, not by accident, but because something in you refused to break. Listen, feel the weight of this moment, the gravity of your own existence, the truth that you are still here, even after everything. You inhale, slow, deep, and the world feels different for a second. Calmer, witter, almost gentle. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." And when you sit with that truth long enough, you realize how many battles you've fought that never truly belonged to the world, but to your own thoughts. You've been bruised by expectations, worn down by comparisons, cut open by old memories. You've stood in rooms full of people and felt unseen. You've laid awake at night, asking questions that no one else could answer, because they were meant for you alone. And yet, you kept going, quietly, steadily, in your own way. You learned to endure the storm without shouting for help. You learned to rebuild yourself without applause. You learned to rise without witnesses. There is a strange, sacred beauty in that kind of resilience, a quiet warrior's strength, the kind that grows in the dark, in the spaces where no one is watching. But tonight, let the silence speak to you. Let it tell you what you've forgotten. Let it remind you of the truth you buried beneath survival. You are not weak for feeling. You are not lost for questioning. You are not broken for hurting. You are human. And being human is not a flaw. It is a fire. There were days when your chest felt heavy, when you woke up and the world felt too loud, too fast, too demanding. Days when you wished for a pause button, for a moment to breathe, for a moment to understand why life hits hardest, when you're already on your knees. But Stoics never denied the storm. They learned to stand in the middle of it. They learned to meet life calmly, without surrendering their inner ground. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." And maybe that's why your mind felt like a battlefield, because the mind is powerful. Too powerful sometimes. It can build worlds, and it can destroy them. But here now, as you listen, I want you to feel something changing. A shift, a softening, a slow return to yourself. Breathe again, because every breath is a reminder. You are not done. Not yet. Not even close. You've lived with shadows. You've walked with fear. You've carried anger like a stone in your pocket. You've pretended to be fine when you weren't. You've smiled when you wanted to disappear. You've stayed strong in ways no one will ever understand. But you're learning something now, slowly. Quietly, patiently. You are learning that you don't need to win every battle. You only need to win the one inside.